Thank you. You've never heard me speak before, clearly from that response. And obviously, thank you to Warwick and the team here for inviting me. Sports betting rights, I'll go through a few obvious things. What are they? Who wants them? Where do they exist at the moment? A few words about integrity and the linkages there. Highlight a few of the issues, which hopefully will show why this isn't a quick fix for anyone. And then a bit of a look forward to see what's coming next on this side. So the first of those, it's come out a bit smaller than I expected, but not to worry. First one, IPR. It's a legal right. You know a lot of this stuff already. I won't spend too long talking about it. It's the same as an audio-visual right. It's something that appears in legislation with all the legal protections that come with it. Not to be confused with a statutory levy, although they have some similarities in that, for instance, with the horse race levy in the UK, you can't take a bet without a licence, and you can't have a licence unless you pay your levy. So there is that run through, but they are different. And so they give you legal control, and what comes with that is obviously money, which is at the heart of all this. But one of the ways this is different from a normal contractual relationship is, of course, you can go to the courts to enforce your contractual rights, but also where this appears in other countries, thankfully few of them so far, but it's a trend, is that you also have a gambling regulator to enforce them for you as well. And that's an added complication. We tend also to focus, for obvious reasons, on the financial side of this. How much the sports want, how much you're willing to pay, all that side of things. But actually, at least the bigger issue is the control of products that it gives to sports. Now, where this exists, and there's no reason to think it wouldn't happen in other places, sports contractually allow... Tom's had enough already. There's no flies on him. Where that exists, it also gives sports the right to say what sort of bets you can offer, when you can offer them, and so already bets like exotic bets, but even things as important now as in-running betting are all coming under pressure. And it effectively hands over control of your business to the sports whose licence you need to operate. And if that's not a big threat to the betting industry, it's hard to know what is. Moving on, who wants them? Well, if this was a school test, you'd all get 100% on those three, I'm guessing. Sports want them for money, of course they do. Wouldn't we in their shoes? No hard feelings on that score. Sports want control. Amongst some sports, and not all, there is a resentment in countries where there's a private sector betting industry that they don't run it already. And they all look with great envy and desire on places like Hong Kong, where the Hong Kong Jockey Club has this monopoly, and the sport of horse racing controls football betting and pretty much anything else which will come along in the future. The one which is probably most problematic for us is the role of governments in all this. Clearly, governments need to create these rights in order for sports to have them and to sell them to us in the first place. And I think everything points to the fact that governments like sports. Why wouldn't they? It may be unfair from our side, but it's hardly surprising. So most countries don't have private sector betting industries. That is gradually changing. You look at places this year will probably be Denmark, Spain, Greece, will all introduce something. But where that happens, they tend to be suspicious of us on a good day and downright hostile on a bad day. Compare that with their approach to sports. For sports and politicians, ministers, sports means seats at the Olympics, tickets at the World Cup, health for the nation, all good things. Certainly no vote losers. Whereas there aren't many out there in that side of things who are willing to promote the interests of the betting industry in perhaps the same way. Politicians, again, quite understandably sympathetic to sports, highlight where sports are suffering, where they're encountering difficulties. And it is tough times for some of them, we accept that. But I've not heard any government talking about how tough it is in the betting sector or in the wider gambling industry. And it'd be nice to see a bit of balance. Sooner or later, that will happen. There's a question of how much rights are worth. Currently in France, most of them are around about 1% of turnover. Is that right value? Who knows? Is it a market value? We really don't know. But what if they don't raise as much as sports want? Sports will probably say at the moment, well, we'll take our chances in the market. If that's how it pans out, fine. But I think historically that's not really how things happen in the real world. Sports will go back to government. They have a figure in mind, all of the sports, for how much they think they're owed, what they think is a fair return. And if they don't get it through a sports right, will they go back and try and find some other way to get it? So it may not be a simple way for government to back out of any of these problems. A few more issues quickly. Can these rights be applied internationally? Even the French haven't tried to do that. So what you have then is a further market distortion, where a bookmaker in another country wouldn't pay, you would. It's yet another cost incurred on some people and not on others. The old one about whose rights are they, which I won't bore you with, but it comes up all the time. Every sport has a right. Groups within those sports have rights. Individuals within those sports have rights. How many agreements are needed? And why just us? Remember, we already pay picture and media rights, data rights, sponsorship. It's not as if no money is going into sports from the betting industry. And I think there is a fundamental point which doesn't get mentioned enough, which is whether it's betting shops or online or wherever, we're not selling sports. The betting industry is selling the betting product, and the two are very different. It's our product and not the sports. So quite apart from the control, what we're selling is something we create ourselves through expertise, good judgment, marketing, all those things that go into making a successful business. And sports have no hand in that.